Demand for council housing in London is high, so when a flat becomes vacant, it's important to get it back on the market as quickly as possible. It's the job of council property manager Tony to make this happen.
It should be interesting to see what we find. These are normally absolutely lovely.
You don't have to be on the housing list to be desperate for a home.
Well, it looks like we've had some sort of bird life in this one. Oh my God, there's enough feathers here.
It's some of those not-so-friendly feathered friends.
Yeah, seems like we've got birds.
It's not just friends, it's friends of friends.
It's more like an aviary than a bathroom. Absolutely covered. How anybody's ever lived in here, I do not know.
It's clear that the pigeons have settled in and are very happy with their home.
There's even eggs where they've hatched out, so that they've obviously been living in here for some time. But I don't think this property's been empty too long, so I would have thought that probably the tenant's been in here with the birds living in here, which just seems unbelievable. I shouldn't think the bathroom has been used at all for probably months and months and months and months.
But a pigeon's heaven can be dangerous.
Looks like they've been everywhere through the hallways and through the bedrooms and in the kitchen. Not quite so bad in the kitchen, but it's bad enough. The smell is absolutely terrible. It is like being in a bird cage. Even the flies are dying, giving up the ghost. Even they can't survive in it.
It's the dust from the droppings which is the real problem, and Tony will have to call in a specialist team before a new tenant comes in.
We must ensure that it's thoroughly clean for the incoming tenant. Last thing we want to do is put them in somewhere that they're going to catch some horrible disease.
The truth is that if you're a serious Grimefighter, you are not a pigeon fancier. In Dagenham, Gary and Luke are sizing up the problem in a vacant council property. They're certainly not doing this for a hobby.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's
Not good at all.
It's not good. It needs to get masked up. When you start disturbing stuff like that, it's not very good. It's not good for your lungs at all.
When it's as bad as this, the boys will not be taking any chances. They decide to dress for the occasion. These masks are not designed to stop the smell, but they do guard against the potentially toxic dust from the droppings. It's a problem that Gary does not take lightly.
My father, he had emphysema. To see a grown man having to have permanent oxygen up his nose and he could just about get up some stairs. I'll be quite honest, when I'm doing jobs like this, I'd rather wear masks any day of the week because I don't really want to be like that.
The chemicals the lads are using to dissolve the hardened droppings is strong stuff and requires a licence to use.
This just kills off all the living organisms in obviously all of the pigeon fat, etc.
Well, you've got a dead bird here, and there's loads of nesting material, and they've got all the twigs in that.
As Gary and Luke start the deep clean, they make a surprising discovery.
There you go. There's a nice nest in the sink. A couple of baby chicks.
I think they're dead.
No, they're not.
No?
No, they're not. Near enough dead anyway. But have to dispose of them. And
There's no room for sentiment. The chicks are suffering, and Gary has no choice but to act quickly and humanely.
you right back, girl. I suppose someone's got to do it, and we get in there and get it done, I suppose.
They are a pest, so they've got to be dealt with, you know.
Pigeons haven't always been treated as pests. They used to be seen as a valuable source of food and fertiliser. But for many years in towns, they've been regarded as a menace, scavenging on the scraps we leave behind. A broken window in a vacant property is just asking for a pigeon to take up residence.
They're just opportunists like any pest, and they'll come in and that's what they'll do. If we didn't block that off, they're going to come in and make the mess again.
We're just going to try and get the glass out and get the frame off as much as we can, and then just try and get this blocked up.
Pigeons can reproduce up to 6 times a year, but their happy families can be our horrible neighbours.
This is for ceramic, such as the baths, sinks and things like that. And you see, it works quite well when you put it on. It's like an acid, and so it just burns away all the filth and that on there.
Before long, this will look as bird-free and fancy-free as any flat should.
This is workable now. You know, it's all been disinfected. It's had biocide all over it to kill all the organisms and horrible things that are in the fouling. And now it's ready to go.
Since the filming of the show, the Dagenham pigeons have flown the coop and a nice new tenant has moved in.